ToRaH Guardian, speaking the absolute truth. ToRaH Nation.
Like, is that you, Yahuwah? Is that you? So I laid in the bed a few minutes. And Yahuwah said, get up and study. And, you know, I'm tired, like, you know, tired. I'm like, okay, Yahuwah. So I get up, come into the room, turn on the lights. The light is bright in my eyes. Like, Yahuwah, what you want me to study? So just look at the book. The book was open to Matthew, 2nd chapter. I ain't even been in Matthew in the book. You was using that to build out his message for the day.
Okay.
But, you know, that's just the way Yahuwah is. At the end of the day, man, when Yahuwah speaks to you, and he will, you have to obey. I mean, because it's better to obey than to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because there's something that's going to be gained from what you do that Yahuwah has called you to do in obedience. When you don't do it, you sacrifice that which comes as a result of the blessing or the word that is necessary for you. It's going to take you to another level, or whoever Yahuwah is going to use you to bring to that level, you know, and or just to be what you need for him to be for you and in you. So, shalom, Lance.
Shalom,
shalom, shalom. All right, man, we're going to go in.
Shalom, y'all. Shalom. I'm in the building, baby.
I know you in. I'm about to pray so Achi can go in. And Achi, when you go in, take your time, man, because, you know.
We got time.
You got time, man. Take your time. I mean, ain't nobody in no rush. You know I love you. And I love the words. So. Bring it. Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, we give you praise on this, your Shabbat. Yahuwah, I thank you for an opportunity to come together in fellowship and in worship and in praise and receiving a word. Abba Yahuwah, I pray that you will take the reins of Achi's lips and the reins of Achi's tongue. By your Ruach HaKodesh, bring forth rivers of living water that comes as a result of the Ruach HaKodesh and the ToRaH of truth working. Abba Yahuwah, I pray in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach that this word will go forth, Abba, and it will not return unto you void. It will go forth and accomplish that which you have sent it forth to bring. Abba, I pray right now your blessings upon this room, your blessings upon us as we fellowship in your word. Take the reins of my lips, the reins of my tongue and reign. Take the reins of Lance's lips and his tongue and reign. And everybody that comes into the room, Yahuwah, in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, have dominion. Yahuwah, you said no weapon turned against us prospers. You said if 2 or 3 of you are together in agreement as touching anything we ask of you, it'll be done. We ask of you, Yahuwah, to perform your word in the midst of us in demonstration and power. Abba Yahuwah, we are sons and daughters of Yahuwah. We are not our own. We belong to you. And we give you praise. You allow us not to cause anyone to stumble, anyone to be turned out of the way, anyone to come up lame. Abba Yahuwah, your word is to be a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our pathway. Your word, the entrance of your word brings light and bring understanding to the simple. A young man's ways, a young woman's ways is cleansed by taking heed to your word. Abba Yahuwah, I pray that your word would have free course and the preeminence. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach. Now, Yahuwah, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, I take authority over every unclean ruach, every ruach of confusion and distraction, every ruach that set itself up against this word, from going forth this word, from reaching those that you have chosen. I bind it in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. I exercise my authority on the arrest. And you said, when I do, you would grant it in the Shamayim. Abba Yahuwah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I thank you for authority, exousia, and power, and the Ruach HaKodesh. I praise your name. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, hallelujah.
Yeah.
All right, Achi. Shabbat Shalom, Alicia.
Shabbat Shalom, sis.
Shabbat Shalom.
So I'm gonna pick up where I kind of started touching on in Midrash, on the wedding feast, in John 2. So this is a point of view. If it's looked at as there is a trajectory on the renewing of the covenant, right? There is a full trajectory from Egypt to the current state of Yahudah under Roman military. They were conquered by Rome under being a possession of the Roman Empire. And that trajectory is that it's summed up in this marriage feast. Yet the marriage feast is a direct reflection of what happened in Exodus 19. So I'm going to kind of tease it apart, looking at what it means to be betrothed, okay, and how, as you brought up, carrying this seed, what had transpired, right, and why it is important to be conscious of the seed that we bear and carry. So this opens up in Yahudah 2. It says, "In the third day there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Yahusha was there. And both Yahusha was called and his Talmudim to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Yahusha said unto him, They have no wine. Yahusha said unto her, Woman, what is this to me? My hour is not yet come. His mother said unto the servants, Whatsoever he says unto you, do it. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Yahudim, containing 2 or 3 measures apiece. Yahusha said unto them, Fill the water pots with water, and they filled them up to the brim. And he said unto them, Draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bore it. When the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the servant which drew the water knew, the governor of the feast called the bridegroom, and said unto him, Every man at the beginning sets forth good wine, and when men have well drunk, then that which is worse, but you have kept the good wine until now. This beginning of miracle did Yahusha in Cana of Galilee, and manifested forth his glory, and his Talmudim believed on him." But this isn't just a story in 2 John, it's a parable and a principle, right? And the principle isn't just for the time of the current covenant that they were under, but the way that things had been governed up until Yahusha. You see it first with Adam, right? Having the breath of life breathed into him, having the covenant, having dominion, having the good wine. He had the good wine, right? And then you see the fall off. And then you see it with Noah. So this is actually repetitive. But then you actually have the actual marriage of a people, right? And so this happens on the third day. Right? And I'm going to break this down in a minute, but if we go to Exodus 19, it says, starting at verse 10, and Yahuwah said unto Moshe, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. And so right there, we are in the same situation where you have this marriage happen on the third day, and here comes the sanctification and purification to be ready on the third day. You have the water pots, which were the traditional purifying pots of the Yahudim. It wasn't a law, it was their tradition, right? And then here you have the Most High saying to purify and sanctify themselves against the third day, right? And the third day, Yahuwah will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And you shall set bounds to the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves that ye go not up into the mount or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not a hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through, whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the shofar sounds long, they shall come up to the mount. And Moshe went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day, come not at your woman. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the shofar exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Yahuwah. And they stood at the nether part of the mount, and Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because Yahuwah descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the shofar sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moshe spoke, and Yahuwah answered him by a voice. And Yahuwah came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, and Yahuwah called Moshe up to the top of the mountain, and Moshe went up to the top. And then Moshe goes to the mountain, and in the mountain, in Exodus 20, you have the giving of the covenant. The ToRaH is given to Moshe. The people and so the ToRaH was given with Moshe, and the entire ToRaH was given in the hearing of the people. It wasn't just given to Moshe in the mountain. All the people, all the children of Yashar heard the giving of the ToRaH.
Right.
And this is a vow. This is the giving of a vow in a ceremony. This is a marriage ceremony where the Most High presents an order and a vow, and the people say, I do.
Right.
But the people didn't have the RUACH HaKodesh. So
they had no intentions of fidelity.
They had no intentions on fidelity. They had no intentions of fidelity. Most High delivered them by his hand, brought them to a place, sanctified them, and made a vow unto the people, betrothed the people. Right? And so this, up until the point of Yahusha, was the good wine. This was the good wine. This was the wine that no one fully understood a better wine was coming.
Right.
Not the people, right? And in the days of Yahusha, very few believed in a better wine or wanted a better wine, right? Because as the Pharisees and the Sadducees always say, we follow Moshe, we follow Moshe, we follow Moshe. We know who Moshe is. We don't know who you are. They don't know who Moshe is, right? It wasn't there. Like you know what I mean? Like you don't follow Moshe. But the structure that was set up, right? This generation was held in a certain esteem, but yet, according to scripture, this generation was a generation of folly. Right? In Hosea chapter 2, the Most High says, "Say ye unto your brethren, Ami, and to your sisters, Rukama, plead with your mother, plead, for she is not my woman, neither am I her man. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight, and her adulteries from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked, and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. And I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. For their mother has played the harlot. She that conceived them has done shamefully, for she said, I will go after my lovers, and give my bread, and my water, my wool, and my flax, my oil, and my drink." The vow that Yahuwah gave unto the children of Yasharel in this betrothing was that if you do these things, if you keep my covenants, guard my statutes, guard my watch and my ToRaH, then I will bless your land. You will be blessed, blessed in the city, blessed in the fields, blessed. This is Deuteronomy 28. The agreement of the blessings and the curses are just the outcomes of an unbreakable covenant. Like you're not going to escape this. The reason why we can't come from underneath the foot of men, as Yahusha says, if salt loses the flavor, it's only good to be trodden under the foot of men, is because there's no coming out of covenant.
No man will buy you.
No man will buy you. No man will buy you. You're gonna be underfoot of men until the time of redemption. And if you reject redemption, that's the position you're gonna stay into until you depart this earth. And so the way that there's no divorce. Now there's a putting away, but there's no divorce.
Right.
So because in putting away, no one to marry you, no one to buy you.
Right.
And there has to be a death.
Right.
There's no point of return without a death. And so Yahusha's atonement is so important for those reasons, for the blood and for the ability to bring back. Not just for the blood and the atonement of cleansing, but in the death to bring back to the betrothment.
Right.
Therefore, behold, I will hedge up your way with thorns, and make a wall that she shall not find her paths. And she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but she shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first man, for then was it better with me than now. For she did not know that I gave her grain and wine and oil, and multiplied her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. Therefore will I return and take away my grain in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax given to cover her nakedness. There's a stripping. There's a so this trajectory, right? In the book of John, it says that the first wine is given, and once every man is drunk, once every man has had his full, they water it down. And so in this trajectory, and this is just when the Most High tells, through Moshe, tells children of Yasharel, and when you have grown fat and full,
right,
you will forget me. Right. So there's this parable, or of this, it's this wedding feast, which also operates as a parable, is explaining the trajectory of Yasharel. That the watering down of the wine is the watering down of the word, the watering down of the covenant,
traditions of
being drunk. And it's a removal.
Yes.
Like, it's a complete removal of all things.
Yes. Yo, man, right? So Yahuwah tells Hosea to marry a whore.
Yeah. Yeah. In order, yeah.
And this whore gonna produce kids.
Yep.
Ain't gonna be your kids.
Not gonna be your kids.
She's gonna produce kids.
And so
you understand, so you can understand
how
I
going through
feel about the nation of Yashar.
is, I want you to understand firsthand what I'm going through. What I'm going through. Like, this is what I'm going through with these people, with your people. This is what I'm being constantly put through, which is also why you have the removal of generations.
Right.
The removal of whole generations, because we as a people were producing children who were being brought up according to other L's, according to other other L's, and caught in their worship for generations. Right? You had kings who would rule and priesthoods that would rule. Well, first of all, you had Jeroboam, who just completely removed Yahuwah from a point of worship over the children of Yashar, over the 10 tribes. And so you had all these generations being born into this idolatrous worship. And then periodically you'll have a righteous king here, a righteous king there throughout the generations. But there was nothing the Most I could do with us. There was nothing to do. By the time that he removed the 10 tribes, in 2 Kings 17, he says that, you studied the statutes. You studied the statutes of the nation that I removed to bring you into the land.
Right.
But he does so with a promise. He still yet says, and this is the other thing where this part has been applied broadly, and it's not a broad application. It's been applied broadly to say that all people are his people. Like, I will call people who are not my people. But he is still talking to Yahudah and Yasharel. He says, and I will betroth you unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth you unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercy. I will even betroth you unto me in faithfulness. He is speaking to the most unfaithful people. And yet he is still yet telling them of what shall come. Not you, not this generation. I already told you what to happen. I'm gonna lay you out like a wilderness for the beast to eat. I'm about to win your kids. I'm about to just do you filthy because you've been doing me filthy. These ain't my kids.
Right.
And he says, and it shall come faithfulness, and you shall know Yahuwah. And it shall come to pass in that day, I will hear, says Yahuwah. I will hear the heavens, and they shall hear the earth, and the earth shall hear the grain, and the wine, and the oil, and they shall hear Yasharel. The children of Yasharel cried out in Egypt. They didn't cry out from a state of knowing. They cried out from a state of crying out.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't.
Oh, yeah, they took my daughter. Just crying. Just
crying out.
It's going in.
It's going in.
Morning.
And the earth heard, and the heavens heard, and Yahuwah heard. Right? Because he has set his ear to hear. Yeah. And he is saying the same thing. I will set my ear to hear. right? And that day I will set my head here, and I will sow her onto me in the earth. Who is the her? He's talking about Yasharel. I will sow her onto me in the earth. I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy. And I will say to them which were not my people, you are my people, and they shall say, you are my Elohim. He's still talking about Yasharel.
Yes.
Yasharel at that point will have not obtained mercy because they would have to have suffered all of what it has come upon them from being children of whoredom.
Right.
From having unfaithful forefathers and foremothers.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So when we come to John too, Rome is a very special, and I don't mean like special like good. I mean special like makeup. Like this is a Greek mind with all of the fierce warrior might that Greek didn't have. Now, under Alexander, Greek conquered, but Rome is a different type of tool, a different type of strong movement. They had all of the library of Alexander. They had all the knowledge of all the gods, which meant that they were coming. It's this amalgamation of all of Egypt, because they ransacked Egypt and took all of their books and all of the knowledge of Greece and all the other countries that they conquered. They had all of this knowledge, and they had all these pantheons of gods. They had all these religions, and they had extreme military might. And so in the land, you had all the oppression that the children of Yasharel were under in Egypt. And this is why Scripture says that you hear Rachel crying out for her children, because, as you were saying earlier, when the Most High told Joseph, get about the land and go to Egypt, they came through killing all the babies again, just like they did in the days of Moshe. You see so many of the same practices, because you have this same type of occupation, but they're no longer being brought into other lands. Right there in their land, they've been made Hellenistic. They've been few people. They have their own traditions. They have a high priesthood that's a paid position. They have the Pharisees and the Sadducees, which were all majority of proselytized converts who was bringing anything in and operating fully Talmudic, come out of the Babylonian Talmud. And here you have a time yet where the Most High has set his ear to hear the heavens hear the earth is hearing Yasharel, because still yet, the minute that Yahusha steps on the scene in chapter 1, you see the Talmudim of Yehukanan. You see the Talmudim reaching out to their family, and all that they're saying is, this is the one. And they're saying, so you see right here, looking upon Yahusha as he walked, he said, behold, the Lamb of Yahuwah. And the two Talmudim heard him speak, and they followed Yahusha. John had these two dudes with him, and the minute he opened his mouth and he said, the Lamb of Yahuwah, they left John. They left Yehukanan. Kept like, oh, okay. Because that was the goal. That was the precipice of this relationship. Yehukanan was looking for him. His disciples were looking for him. Yehukanan wasn't building something onto himself. He was telling everyone, there's one to come. He's coming. He's here. There he go. Off to the races.
Right.
Just one making the road straight. That's all I'm doing. Just one making the road straight. That's it.
Right.
So there was this small remnant that was crying out. And though they wanted deliverance from Roman oppression, everybody did. You had this remnant that wanted what Moshe, the law and the prophets spoke of. They wanted Emmanuel. They wanted, I mean, they wanted something greater. They didn't have a full understanding, but it was what they desired. And so, and you just see it thematically in this first chapter of Yahudah, leading to the betrothing in the in well to the parable of the betrothing, this third day wedding feast. It says, and he said unto them, come in, and then Yahusha turned and saw them following, and said unto them, what seek ye? They said unto him, Rabbi, which is to say, being interpreted, teacher, where do you dwell? He said unto them, come and see. They came and saw where he dwelt, and abode with him that day, for it was about the 10th hour. One of the two which heard Yahudah speak and followed him was Andre, Shimon, Kepha's brother. He first finds his own brother, Shimon, and said unto him, we have found Hamashiach. And he brought him to Yahusha. And when Yahusha beheld him, he said, you are Shimon, the son of Yonah. You should be called Kepha, which is by interpretation a stone. The day following, Yahusha would go forth in Galilee and find Philip, and say unto him, follow me. Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andre and Kepha. Philip finds Nathanael, and says unto him, we have found him of whom Moshe in the law and the prophet did write, Yahusha of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. And Nathanael said unto him, can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip said unto him, come and see. There's a community. It ain't big, but they know
it's a remnant.
They know who going to. He like, man, Nathaniel, like, I've been waiting. Let me go holler at Nathaniel. Let me go get my brother because my household has been waiting. It's a community, and that community becomes not just the 12, but the 500 that were considered the inner. Like you have the inner, but then you had the 500 that followed Hamashiach closely. And so when we come to this marriage, when we come to this feast and we see this wine demonstration, Yahusha said unto them, fill the water pots with water, and they filled them. Wait, let me back up. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Yahudim, containing 2 or 3 measures apiece. By this point, the traditions that have been brought up through disobedience, the traditions that have been developed and then replace the law and the prophets for the standard of righteousness are here being represented, right? The purifying of the Yahudim containing 2 or 3 measures apiece, but yet there's no purifying of the Yahudim. There's the purifying of ToRaH, where ToRaH has laid out how you are to present yourself and be clean, coming into anything, right? Come into the presence of the Most High. And then they are filled with water. And this water, in obedience, they fill the water, they fill these pots to the brim. And when they dip their ladle, the ladle turns to, it turns it to wine. And so this is the
blood of the grape. The blood of the grape.
The blood of the grape. It turns into the blood of the grape. But the obedience and a refilling of the word, because it is the word that will produce. And this John, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with the Most High, and the word was the Most High, and the word became flesh. The filling of the word, not just it's not an outward cleansing thing. The word is poured into these vessels. These earthen vessels are once again filled with the word of the Most High, and in that, this wine that is produced at the end is far better than the wine that was produced in the beginning of this or in the first marriage, because the Most High has done something different. The promises here aren't in the promises here are in a different transition. The promises of the covenant of stone, right? In this transition of becoming a people, governed the people but didn't change the hearts of the people because they didn't have a heart to be changed. Whereas what governs us here, we become a people because of the transformation.
Right.
Here we're a people because of a covenant and a promise. There's a promise made to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and there's a deliverance, and then there's a covenant formed, and the covenant is perfect. You shall live. Ezekiel 19 says, for 20.
Hey, check this out, right? Now, the Most High said, saying to me, he says, listen, he said, the water pots were filled with water, right? And the water was to cleanse, right? But when the water became blood, the blood was important to cleanse, right? Because without shedding of blood, there's no remitting of sins, right? And also too, they had to drink the water, right? They had to physically consume, literally consume, right? This wine that's the blood of the grape, which Yahushua also said, unless you eat of my body and drink of my blood, you have no parts in me. So there's this multifaceted that goes consistent with what you're saying. You know, I mean, because when you think about it, it still has everything to do with the marriage feast, but it also is a reflection of Yahusha's involvement in the Last Supper, or his method of atonement. Right? Because we know that you gotta wash. Well, they done already washed, right? Technically, everybody that them used them pots have washed. Right? But it is not until they drink the blood, or the blood of the grape, or the wine, that introduces this renewed or this new covenant. That's all. That's kind of just hit me. So I think I want to say that to you.
No, that was perfect, because I was struggling saying exactly that. Seriously. Then in Ezekiel 20 said, then said I unto them, cast ye away every man the abominations of his eyes, and defile not yourself with the idols of Mitzrayim. I am Yahuwah Elohim. But they rebelled against me and would not hearken unto me. They did not every man cast away the abominations of their eyes. Wait, hold on. That's not what I'm looking for. Wherefore, let me start off in there. But I wrought for my name's sake that I should not be polluted before the heathen among whom they were, in whose sight I made myself known unto them, in bringing them forth out of the land of Mitzrayim. Wherefore I caused them to go forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, and brought them into the wilderness, and I gave them my statutes, and showed them my judgments, which if a man do, he should even live in them. So what the Most High gave them was perfect, and it produced life. If a man lives in them. If a man lives in them, if a man do these things, he should even live in them. But the latter wine is that these things shall live in you.
Right.
These things, so you have, which is to what you were saying, you have the washing, the outward washing. The pots were meant for the outward washing. But when he had them filled and turned to wine, it was an inward taking, which is an inward cleansing, right? And which lays out the newness. The renewedness of the covenant, that not only shall you live in them, which you should do, but they shall live in you, which is the betrothment. The betrothment is to be one, to be in a state of oneness. Yasharel had not reached that state of oneness. They had not.
No.
Moshe lays it out in marriage, like that verse when he in Genesis when he says that, you know, Adam saw the woman and said, "Here stands flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone." And he says, "For this reason should a man leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife." This oneness that is to be reached is only reached in Ruach. It is only reached through the Ruach HaKodesh. It is only reached through this inward cleansing where these things live in you. Like if you do them, you will live in them. But if they live in you, then the life that's produced is a oneness with Hamashiach and the Father. So, which is what he promises in John. So you have in the onset of Yahusha stepping on the scene, you have this wedding feast, but then you have in John. You have in John, it simply says, if you should ask anything, you have the promises reinstituted of the covenant and a oneness given that is the renewedness of this covenant. When he says, whatsoever you should ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. And if you should ask anything in my name, I will do it. If you love me, guard my commandments. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. That's that seed.
Right.
Even the Ruach HaKodesh whom the world cannot receive, but it sees him not. Because it sees him not, neither knows him, but ye know him, for he dwells with you and shall be in you. I will not leave. I will come to you.
You know, when you, I'm seeing this now the way you see it. When you go back down where you say, when you talk about how he says, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, he do also greater works than these shall he do, because my Father, going to my Father. That's Deuteronomy, right? That's the
Say that
first
again.
part.
That's what?
That's Deuteronomy 28th chapter. It's concealed but concise.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you know, Yahuwah says, if you hearken diligently to the voice of Yahuwah thy Lord to observe to all his commandments this day, that I've commanded thee, then these blessings shall come upon thee. Blessed shall be the city, blessed for your field, blessed for the fruit of the body, blessed going in, going out. That's what Yahushua is saying. Because he says, and whatsoever you ask of my Father in my name, I'll do it. Why? Because you're in covenant through faith in Hamashiach, the witness. You're born again the water and Ruach HaKodesh. And the natural consequence to that is that because you're in covenant and you're keeping his Torah, because you can now, all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You know, all of these things that I have told you about, or the things that I've spoken to your fathers concerning what they would receive if they remained obedient to Torah, they're yours.
They're yours.
All you gotta do is ask for them.
And you're not a people because you Yahudim. You're a people because of the witness. Right. Because you carry the Ruach HaKodesh within you, because you're sealed unto a day of redemption. And in that you will operate Torah, and you will always align yourself with those who operate in Torah from a heart that has Torah written upon it through Hamashiach, not from the Torah of stone. That like you will not be that nation. That nation, that is done. That is done.
He said, if ye shall ask anything in my name, he said, if you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. Then he says, if you love me, guard my commandments, and I will pray the Father. So if you love me and guard my commandments, right? Because I think it's John 16 or John 7, he says, as I have kept the Father's commandments.
Yep.
I think he does that in the vine, right? So if I obey Yahuwah's law, statutes, and commandments and observe everything to do them, then I'm going to have everything I need. I ain't got to worry about an enemy. And Hamashiach Yahusha, I ain't got to worry about the weapon formed against me prospering. You know, people, he said they're going to come out against me one way and flee before me 7 ways. They're going to run from me. I'm going to be pursuing them, right? He said, you'll be the head and not the tail. You'll be above only and not beneath. I mean, listen, that's in Hamashiach Yahusha. That's in the witness. That's being born again. That's experiencing everything that Yahuwah has promised our fathers in ToRaH. And you know, we know this. I mean, because when you read it, you say, oh yeah, well, I can ask anything. Well, why? Because you drank the new wine.
Yeah. You came and you tasted and seen how you came and took a sip, and he says, and he that has my commandment, he said, and at that day, who that, Lance?
No.
Okay. At that day you shall know that I am in my Father, and ye in me, and I in you. The oneness is the covenant, it's the covenant oneness, it is the betrothment. It is that this is the better wine. This is what this has been building towards. And this was always it. That's why the Most High says calling the end of the beginning.
Yes.
Calling the end of the beginning. This is what his goal was. The people that will be his people are those who are in this oneness, who are under this renewed covenant, where it is not written upon stones, but written upon the hearts of man by the RUACH HaKodesh. And he says that he that has my commandments and guards them, he it is that loves me. And he that loves me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him, and I will manifest myself to him. Yahusha answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will guard my words, and my Father will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. So the manifestation of himself to him is also the indwelling. We will come make our abode with him. It is the new heart. You are ToRaH. You are a walking, living ToRaH. Paul, they translate epistles, but it's not epistles, it's ToRaHs. Right. You've been written. The finger of the Most High has written you, right? Has written you, because that's the promise. That's the promise, and that's the new wine. And we have that hope, and in having that hope, we're not worried about miscarrying the seed or being caught up in all types of whoredoms, but we flee those things, which is why John says that we understand. We understand the manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of Yahuwah. Therefore the world knows us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of Yahuwah, and it does not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him. We shall see him as he is. And every man that has this hope in him purifies himself, even as he is pure. We keep ourselves.
Right.
It's not a chore.
No.
It's the hope.
Right.
It's not a chore. It's the hope. Right. It's and that is the difference. When the children of Yashar heard the blowing of the shofar, they didn't rejoice.
No,
they didn't rejoice. They didn't run to the Most High. They trembled in terror and fear. They had no hope in them of Yeshua, of being in his presence, of understanding who Yahuwah was, though he delivered them. They were, they were murmuring from the day they came out of Egypt. They were complaining about they this, man, there's never a reason to ever be in any of these states, man. There's never a reason to be in any of these states, man. We know who we serve. We know who has called us, who has set us apart, who has filled us. Like, you know, we were talking before we went on how, you know, my morning got disrupted, but man, it's whatever. It's a small thing.
Right.
Small thing, man. We know who we know who's in charge. And it's the inner dwelling, the interchange that is so misconstrued. Like this new wine is so misconstrued to somehow not have the full plan of Yahuwah, the full Torah, the full statutes of it somehow not included, or to somehow happen outside of the betrothment in Yahusha.
Right.
These one is one or the other where we're getting, as a people, we get lost in. You know, right. And those are both as you've been saying, you know, those anti-Hamashiach RUACH mindsets.
Yeah, ideologies. Yeah. That are constantly abound, man. I mean, they're constantly bombarded with the Ruach of Antichrist. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you gotta have you gotta know who you are. You gotta know what you in. You gotta understand what this marriage is, what this feast is. I mean, you gotta understand. You know, you got to be that virgin that's waiting for the bridegroom that's got enough oil in her lamp. You know what I'm saying? She's anticipating going into the wedding feast. She's anticipating making sure she's prepared, got everything she needs. She purifies her heart. Not the five foolish. You know, they kicking rocks. They're thinking they got enough. Oh, we got enough. What we need. Yeah, and if we need something, we ain't gonna tell you now, but we're gonna tell you at the time, because that's gonna put pressure on you to make you perhaps conform and give us a little what you got. Wrong answer.
What happened?
But you got to do this show.
You got to do it.
You got to
want to do it.
You got to want to do it.
Like that's the transformation. They ain't had no oil in their lamp. Which is like, what are you paying attention to that you let your lamp run out of oil? What are you using it on?
And you know what, man? Our people, right? After Zedekiah, there was no more kings in Jerusalem. Zedekiah was the last king of Jerusalem, of Yahudah. Right? I mean, the last king of the tribe of Yahudah up until Yahudah. Right? He was the last king. And then, you know, the priesthood was in array. You know, even when Ezra came back, the priesthood was, you know, trying to get together. There was no real king because they were still under other sovereign authorities. Right? There was no kings. But then, you know, then you had the Maccabees. And the Maccabees, they was priests. Judas Maccabees, Simon Maccabees, they were priests.
Yeah.
And Simon, right? Simon, Judas's brother's son, took over the kingship of Yahudah. So the priests were kings. It was all jacked up, man. I mean, it was all out. It was all out of order. John Arcanus, I think it was John Arcanus. John Arcanus 1 and John Arcanus 2. You know, that was the last priest. He was the last king. But he's not recognized as a king of Yahudah. Right? And then after him, you got Herod the Great. Herod the Great come in, he killed everybody.
He couldn't wait to come kill everybody.
He killed all the he killed a bunch of people. He killed all the descendants of that family of Simeon that continued to breed a king. So there was like 3 or 4 of them, 2 or 3 of them after Simeon, his son, and John Hyrcanus, too, I think. And after that, you know, I mean, you had Herod the Great come in, and he was Roman, but he was Idumean. He came in and killed anybody that might have been a king. And then, you know, he had the priests, and he done killed all the priests. So whoever he had, he put in there because they were good to him. They was gonna be his puppets. They had no light. They only had what they was holding on to.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, it was a bunch of different things. It was really a bunch of different things. You know, you had some people that was in Torah, then you had some people that was in Talmud, and you know, then you had people that was in the Greek philosophy that are Hellenized. You got all of this stuff going on amongst the nation. Hey, then here come Yahudah. Here come Yahushua. Oh man, listen.
That's why like the word is so inspired that encoded to where you miss what is being said if you're not in the RUACH. Like it's a reason why in the book of Luke, like out of all the lineages, you only get 2 lineages. The lineage to show that HaMashiach is HaMashiach. Like this is the son of David, right? But then you get Yehukhanan's lineage.
Mm-hmm.
Because the rest of this priesthood is corrupt.
Right.
Here goes 2 descendants. Here go 2 descendants of Aharon. That's it.
Right.
That's it. I can't account for anything else happening right now in this temple.
Exactly.
These 2 faithful and righteous and blameless are direct descendants of Aharon, and this child that's coming forth was rightfully the high priest.
Right. Technically, yeah, man.
And wouldn't step foot in the temple. He in the wilderness.
Eating wild locusts and honey.
And honey. And baptized.
Totally unconventional. Totally unconventional.
There wasn't what was conventional was totally in error.
Right.
Yeah, it was a law. He removed everything. There was no way back. The Most High only uses prophetically the high priest because he was the high priest. And Scripture says that being the high priest that year.
Yes.
Only reason, like this man ain't even lineage, but since you in that office, you gonna prophesy right now.
Right.
Isn't it better for one man to die for the sins of many?
Right. And you know, and this is right. So here you have, and it's a testament to Yahuwah's selection and whom he has chosen, like in reference to the lineage of David and Yahudah and Yehukhanan, right? Because you know that once Herod the Great received the information from the Magites that they were coming, right, to find the king of the Jews. We done seen his star. We want to know where the king of the Yahudim is. Herod's like, king of the Yahudim? Let me go get these puppet priests I got in these scribes and let me find out what's happening. Right? So, you know, long story short, at the end of the day, after Yahushua was born, he decrees. He killed everybody and every son 3 years and younger. Kills every son 3 years and younger, right? In Bethlehem of Judea and then the entire coast. But yeah, you cannot survive.
Yep.
Right? And again, who cannot survive and Yahusha survive. And listen, and then he talks about how the daughters mourned that had lost their sons. But their sons had to die in order that Yahusha and YAHUCHANAN can live. Because YAHUCHANAN had to declare, look, I'm here to make straight the path. This man is the son of Yahuwah. And then when Yahuwah comes on the scene, he says, this behold the Lamb of Yahuwah, take away sins of the world. You better follow him. This is the man to go with. And only those that Yahuwah has chosen. Yahuwah told Yahudah, Yahusha told Yahudah when he was praying, he says, those that you have given me, I haven't lost one.
I haven't lost not one.
I've kept them all. Yahusha went everywhere doing miracles. And these people didn't believe him. But as many as did, to them he gave power to be sons. They received the seed. They were born again of the water of the RUACH HaKodesh.
Yeah.
But it was only a small number. I think it was in the Acts of the Apostles. I think when they were talking about the converts, I can't remember the number. I think they said a number. Because they were so impressed by, how the numbers were growing.
The numbers were growing, but they were still like, you're talking about millions of people, and I think at most it was 30,000 in total.
A remnant.
Millions.
A remnant.
Remnant. And but that's like that's what that verse in Hosea, because the Most High is what he was doing. He said, and I will sow her onto me in the earth. This is everything Hamashiach talked about the parables of the seeds.
Right.
Like the Most High is he sowed us onto himself amongst the earth. Scattered.
Yes.
Scattered for the sole purpose that when I redeem you amongst all these heathens, wherever you at, they're gonna know who Yahuwah is. They're gonna know that who Yahuwah is. They're gonna know the creator of all things in you.
Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, you have to have this ruach, man. You gotta have a ruach HaKodesh. You gotta keep oil in the lamp. You gotta stay before Yahuwah. And you gotta get up when he tell you to get up.
Yeah. I'll be, man, listen. It'd be like 4:15. He'd be like, get up. I'm like, get up now?
Yeah.
I look back up, it's 5:50. I'm like, oh my goodness, what did I just do?
Look, man, on the Shabbat, it's rest. So in my mind, I'm already thinking, I'm gonna rest there till like 9. I'm coming 9:30. It's gonna chill, right? 6:45. You know what I'm saying? Right? I get up and study. That you? This is the time I used to sleep in on the Shabbat. I get up and study. I laid there for about 2 or 3 minutes. He said, get up and study. And what he gave me had everything to do with what you have and ties everything in to what he's doing in the Shabbat service for me, right? Because it all works. See, and Yahuwah is good like that, man. You was just good. He's good like that. You was just good. He's good. He's good, Achi. He's good, man. I'm telling you, he's good. And man, that was beautiful, man. That's beautiful. You got more of that? Is that it?
No, that's it.
All right, because we got some more.
Right there, I good.
You got some more. It's good. All right, I hear you. And you know what? Did you send Kendrick's this?
Oh, he wanted the link to the
I sent him the link.
You sent that to him today?
Yeah, I sent him the link to Shabbat today.
Oh, okay.
Did he come on Wednesday?
He came on.
Yeah, he was there Wednesday. Yeah, he was there Wednesday.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I wasn't telling him to come get the. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, he came.
I gotta see. Is there a way to add? I don't listen. These phones, man, not my specialty. Can you add somebody to a group chat?
Yeah, on
Okay.
iPhone.
He got an iPhone, right?
Yeah, he got an iPhone.
All right, then I'll be able. I should be able
So
to
you should be able to go to the group chat and then just
add him to.
add them to it. Yeah, right up to there at the top. Yeah,
Up here.
where it say 4 people. Yeah. Oh, it's not letting you add. Huh?
Yeah.
I wonder why. Okay, it won't let you add them, I guess. Let me do it on my phone. Am I tripping?
Yeah, okay.
Let's see if I
Can you click in that where it says the people at?
Or does somebody?
Yeah, but it ain't
have
no
an
ad
iPhone?
button.
There's no ad button. So somebody must not have an iPhone.
Somebody
Oh,
must
at
not
least you
have
don't got
an
an
iPhone.
iPhone.
That's why.
So what now?
Why?
Somebody in the group must not have an iPhone. I know Alicia don't. I'll just start a new chat.
Yeah, you could do that if you want, or like I said, I sent it to him already today.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the link don't change once you got it.
Yeah, it don't change. Once you got it, that's it.
It don't always work for my phone, man. I put on my computer, man. I hit that link, man. It don't always work. So I have to get
That's
the new
weird, man. I don't know
I
why.
don't know why, but on this Dell computer, man, listen, you know, it don't always grab it. And I'll be like, man, why ain't there? Why ain't there? Why ain't there? I'm like, yo, man, send me the link again. I hit the link, bam.
Pop right up.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that was good. You know what to do, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ain't going behind you. I think it was a beautiful lesson, man. I really do. Make sure you put the title with it.
Okay.
You know, so that when I upload, I can attach the title of it to it. And you know, I mean, man, I'm just looking forward to we got 14 days and count.
Man, let's go.
Days. 14 days and count. You know, so you know, I'm looking to make that move.
Nah, we got a little longer than that. We got a little longer than that.
Is it a little bit longer than that?
Yeah, we got 20 something days. We leave on the 19th.
Yeah, the 19th.
The 19th.
All right, well, you got a few days.
I know you count. You're like, I'm ready to go.
I'm trying to get in there, man. Get in there.
I can't wait, man.
I'm trying to get in there, boy. I'm trying to get in there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Ezra be talking.
Well, I'm glad.
I'm ready to come down there and really chop it up. Really just dive in. Spend some good time.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, man. We're gonna have some good time. We'll have a good time. But I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. I ain't got nothing to say. Lance, you got anything you want to say?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead, close it out.
All right. Abba Yahuwah, we give you praise right now for your word. We thank you for your Shabbat and the fellowship of your word. I thank you, Yahuwah, for obedience to what you speak to us in the Ruach HaKodesh. I give you praise, Yahuwah, for it is always better to obey your speaking to us than to sacrifice what it is that you're trying to bring us into by getting us to this place of obedience. Abba Yahuwah, I praise your name right now for my Achi. I thank you for the word that he's brought forth in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. I thank you for taking the reins of his lips and teaching by your Ruach HaKodesh concerning the marriage feast of Yahusha. I give you praise, Yahuwah, that we are your brides and we are here to attend the wedding. Hallelujah. Yah, I give you praise, for you are worthy of praise. Abba, Yahuwah, continue to go with these ox in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach and Akoti. Bless those that hear this word and strengthen them in their ruachs. Abba, Yahuwah, we can do nothing apart from you, but with you we can do all things. So, Abba, Yahuwah, I praise your name right now in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Bring forth blessings, bring forth honor, bring forth all that you have promised your children in Exodus, the 28th chapter, in the blessings in Hamashiach. Abba Yahuwah, I praise your righteous name, for you are an Elul that will supply all our needs according to your riches in Hamashiach, and for that we give you praise. Now, Yahuwah, I want you to set this situation right with my Achi and that whole card situation. Make it right, Yahuwah, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Bring to justice and accountability to those who need to be brought to justice and accountable. Because, Yahuwah, this can't be done to people. So I pray right now in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach that by your RUACH, you will bring supernatural intervention in the name of Yahushua Mashiach. Now, I praise your name for increase. I thank you for wealth and grants and fundings from unknown sources to all. Abba Yahuwah, I thank you for $365 million plus. Yahuwah, everything we need to get the job done. I give you praise. Abba Yahuwah, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuwah, my strength and my redeemer. Hallelujah. All right.
Hallelujah.
We in. Trust in the Most High. We in agreement with the ToRaH and the Basura. We about business.
Hallelujah.
About the business of you. So listen, man, I might, again, you might hear from me later, but if you don't listen, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy your Shabbat and be blessed.
Bless y'all.
Hallelujah.
ToRaH Garden, speaking the absolute truth. ToRaH Nation.